Welcome back to another video from Jim of All Trades. Welcome to the Jim of All Trades channel. My name's Jim. I'm glad you're here with me. I am doing another Bitcoin update for you. Bitcoin technical analysis along with Litecoin. We're going to look at the Elliott wave counts. I am an Elliott wave trader. That means I use Elliott waves to interpret the market. Now, hey, some of you just hit the unlike button right now. You hit the dislike button, and I'm not sure why you're hitting it before you watch the whole video. This is powerful information. If you'll just watch, you'll see how powerful Elliott wave counting can be and using these tools. So I hope you watch the whole thing. You learn how to be a great trader so you can be level-headed and you know what to do and how to maximize the amount of money that you can make in this market. So here we go. Let's just let's look into the chart. We're looking at the 2-hour chart right now, Bitcoin. And what you'll see here is we're looking at, we've made a 1 wave, we've come down for a 2, and we've just made the 3. I've put the Fibonacci's on here. You can see how it tagged the 1.618. There's your 3rd wave. We are currently coming down for the 4th wave, it looks like. So what we're expecting is a 4th wave coming down. Now, there is a small possibility that this wave right here is going to come up and retest the top here at $5,500 for a finished 5th wave. That's a small possibility. Want to let you know about that potential, but regardless, we are coming down soon. I don't think that that's the case. I don't think that's the case, and let me tell you why I believe we're actually heading down from here rather than going up for another wave. Okay, so I think we're making the 4. Let me build this case for us. Well, what we see here is as we came up to, this is the same chart, just zoomed in a little bit, and I've got the RSI at the bottom here, kind of zoomed in here. You can see a moving average on it as well. One of these days, I'll tell you the secret of how to use that. That is a Jim Pierce creation, using the moving average on the RSI. What we're going to do is look at how the RSI happens, or how the RSI acts as the top of the wave is created. You'll notice that up here we had this higher peak, and then right here, this peak is associated with this peak right here, and then we had a lower high as a lower high was being formed associated with that peak, but then we had another lower high associated with a higher high. That is divergence right there. Now, you say there's divergence, isn't that the finished wave? Well, no, it's not, because certainly that divergence clued you in that that this wave is fizzling out, right? And there was a corrective wave that followed it, right? And you see it right on the chart right here. But it continued on, and as it continued on, we didn't really have strong divergence according to my rules, and I'm not going to tell you all my rules because I've developed them, but you can kind of, if you listen and kind of guess, you can kind of see what's going on. But right here at this peak, associated with this peak, is the first time we have real, I'm going to give you a hint here, widespread divergence. Okay, so there you go. So you can see how the higher highs are being created here, but there's a lower low. As soon as you see that lower low in this scenario, examine this closely. If you can figure out the pattern, you'll know the exit. This was your exit point right here. You would have nailed the top or close to it, and we're coming down. Now, there's your divergence. Now, what's happening now is that if we finish the wave, that means that's the top of this wave. That means we're coming down for an ABC. So let's go to the next chart here, and that's exactly what we have going on. Now, let's see, do I have a better chart than that? There it is, right there. So this should be an ABC forming like this. Now, to be able to test that, we need 5 waves in the A, or 3 waves, 5 or 3, but we have 5 clear waves. Let's go to the chart and see it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the same set of waves. Just try to pre-prepare these charts so I can do it quickly. Then we expect the B wave to have 3 waves, which is made up of an ABC, A, B, and C. Now that C wave is always going to have 5 waves. So this is the C wave within the big, large B. So this is A, and then we've got B, and this is made up of A, B, C. So this needs 5 waves in it. And so what we need to do to see if we're finished with B and we're heading down for C, we got to see if there's 5 waves and has it reached the critical correction Fibonacci level. So Let's take a peek at that. So you can see that I put the fib relationship on here. Remember, somehow my target, I had the word target written here from another video. It got moved, but when we hit the target area, this $5,300 mark, about where I was telling you at the 1276, we came up and tagged it right, almost just wicked through it just a little bit. I said in the previous video, it's probably going to come right between them. The 1 and the 2, but it actually went up to it actually did that here and continued on for that last wave. So there's the Fibonacci's. Now the question is, can we count 5 waves in there? Well, I did the count. Here it is. We've got 1, 2. Now I put the Fibonacci's from the 1 to the 2 here, and you can see here's the 1618. That means our third wave is probably right there. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Now I ought to be able to count 5 waves in that third wave, so I can count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. And then we've came down for a 4, A, B, C. Now we're going up for 5. Now I ought to be able to count 5 waves, and this is kind of an ending diagonal. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 retraced into the level of 1. That's a diagonal, an ending diagonal. That's the definition of an ending diagonal. And then the 5th wave. So the question is, in this 5th wave, do we have 5 completed waves? I think we do. I don't know that I subcounted that, but you can certainly go and try to in the 1 hour and see if you can subcount 5 waves there. That's a challenge, but I'll let you mess with that. But I think we're done for a lot of reasons. I think we're done going up with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has reached its top for this particular wave, most likely, but there is a possibility. Always, the market can do whatever it wants to do. Jim Pierce doesn't tell the market what to do, and it certainly doesn't listen to me. So understand that Elliott Wave is about looking for patterns and high probabilities of repetitious behavior of the market. So this is repetitious behavior of the market. So where are we headed? Where are we projecting? Well, if we finished in 3, we're expecting an ABC. We put our fibs on, extensions from the A to the B here. That puts us at the 1276 right down here. So anywhere from 71 to 4611, that is my projection. Now, what I would do is, what I usually do is I try to see, is there any price target, any support or resistance where price reacted? Do you see where price reacted right over here? It reacted right in there. Guess what? A lot of times Bitcoin comes and it lands right here between the 1 and the 276. So I'm expecting, probably if I gave it a go, we're in the 46.86 in that ballpark. 46.75 in this ballpark. This is going to be our low. This is our buy zone here. We're looking for to go up for a 5th wave, and what we expect after this ABC, we're going to have 5 waves to the upside. Let's go back to our original chart. We should see, as price comes down here to the $4,600 range, we should see 5 waves coming up. Now the general shape, I think we're going up to 6,000 or 6,500 in that ballpark, and we should get there about the time frame. If I had to get, unless things just shoot up really fast, sometime by the end of May we'll hit it. So we're looking at an awesome setup for a buy in Bitcoin. You ought to be looking to purchase here in this range. Okay, let's move over to Litecoin. So projected target 4,600 in that ballpark, heading up to $6,000 or so. All right, Litecoin. I didn't prepare the charts as well on this one, but what we have here is, I want to show you the divergence on the chart as well, just so you can understand. This is the 2-hour chart. This is the top of our high. You'll notice that we have price. Let me go back here. Thank you. Excuse me. Man, I get confused in all my charts, guys. We don't have the same divergence here that we had well, we do have divergence here. I'll show it to you in a second, but we don't have the same in Bitcoin. I get confused as to what when you hear me pause, it's just like, okay, something's not looking right. Okay, here we go. So what we have is we have this peak of the RSI associates with that peak right there. This peak of the RSI associates with our high, and what you can see is that price came up really hard while the strength of the move in the RSI was coming down. Okay, now you have this secondary high right here, but didn't quite make it up to the top. So we've got but we've got, so that means our strength, though I've got divergence here, our strength is going down. We don't have widespread divergence, but that probably would have been my exit. Just to say, based on my strategy, I would have probably I could have sold here and then bought back down here, but that's harder to find. I try to trade the larger waves when I know what's going on, but when this was moving, I wasn't using this strategy as much. But I've been developing it over the past several weeks so that I don't make those mistakes again. I'm always growing as a trader. So anyway, my strategy is using the RSI and divergence as my exit indicator, and so this would have been my best exit point right there once I saw that widespread divergence. All right, now we should be coming down here from our high in an ABC pattern, and so what we want to do is put our fibs. Let me get rid of this chart. Let me get rid of the RSI here. We put our fibs on here. I'm just not going to do as a detailed analysis here, but we've got A, we've got B, and we're coming down for C. Now remember, A wave. The A wave has 5 waves or 3. The B wave has 3 waves always, and the C wave has 5 waves always. So we've got A. This is B. And we have C coming down. Now we're looking for the 1276 or the 1-to-1 extension here. So my price targets are going to be $70 to about $62.60 in that ballpark. You can see where price hit right here, or where price was peaking here at the 61.70 range. So I'm just going to drop this guy right about here. I'll bet you we're going to wick through the 1276. I'm looking at about $61 to $60 to be our lowest target on the buy zone. We'll probably wick to it and then bounce off it hard. So are we finished with this correction? Well, let's count the waves. Let's see if we can see 5 waves here. We've got 1, 2, okay, came down to 3. We're making 4 now, or we just made, this was 4, and I think what we're doing is we're making our 5th wave. It's going to be an extended wave most likely. If it's not extended, it's just going to stop here at the 70. So we got to watch for that. But looking at the size of this 1-2, if this is a 1-2, and I think it is, I believe that this is a 1, a 2. We're expecting a 3, 4, and a 5 coming down. That's kind of what I'm looking at to finish out Litecoin. We'll see. We're going to see what price does. Now, what if price continues up here? Higher than this high? Well, that's a possibility. That means this count is slightly varied. Let me get rid of this and I'll show you. So instead of this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what that actually turns into, that extends this 4th wave. That extends it to a double correction. Basically, this would be a WX and a Y if that does that. So if we break the high here and go up to about I don't know, about the $85 mark. In that range, 85.50, maybe wicking into 87 tops. I mean, it shouldn't wick too much into that, but if it does, then what we're looking at is we're looking at a WXY most likely. Don't think that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. So we're looking for that. We're going to be watching for that. Don't freak out. Don't FOMO. Remember, if price ends up breaking this high, and it bounces off of here, we're still coming down in 5 waves. And this all correlates with our Bitcoin projection as well. What if both of these are wrong? What if, Jim, you are just completely wrong on all of it? We just go up from here, and you're scared to death. And that's what most traders are doing. They're scared to death. They're going to miss that up move. They're so scared to let go of their coins and buy again. So what do? Well, listen, waves go up. And so if this goes up and comes up here, it's going to come back down in a 2 wave. If it comes down and then it retraces somewhere about the 50 to 68% and starts going back up, then you buy that wave and you go on up, okay, because that's a 1 then a 2. We watch the RSI to help us and give good indications of where we're headed, but we have downward movement with the RSI. We've got room to go down, and we should be going down, so I wouldn't worry. But again, I don't have a magic 8 ball, and I'm not a genie. I don't know all things, but I'm using Elliott wave principles to make good predictions. So that is a likely scenario what we're looking at here. Okay, I hope this helps you. This is what we're looking at. As now, understand this: my count may change as new information comes in. So listen, I'm just looking at high probability scenarios. As new information comes in, I may have to alter this count and say, okay, what else is going on if we're wrong? We're always making educated guesses, educated predictions, but at the end of the day, we're watching the market, trying to find setups to where we can multiply our dollars. But I'm waiting for price to come down here, and then we're going to hopefully be going up for another set of waves. Okay, until then, let's just keep watching the charts. Happy Good Friday to you. He is risen indeed. If you're a believer, I am a believer in Christ, and He died on the cross for our sins, and He rose from the dead, and I'm thankful for that. And so this weekend, hope you have a blessed weekend as you think about Him. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll be bringing a video tomorrow as these things play out. Have a great weekend.